Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. Today we're going to be talking about living in your golden years, intentional living, and a few other things. So I've got my little cards ready, so we're going to be doing those in a minute. But I'm on my incumbent bike that my husband has set up in the front yard. I'm going to try to keep my skirt down a little bit uh, just to exercise my legs. So, uh, when you become a senior citizen, your muscles become weaker and you need to exercise to keep your muscle strength. So, I've got my cards here ready. Keep that over my knees. I thought I would share this little bit with you. It's beautiful out here this morning. It's 65 degrees. I think we're going to get into the 70s today, which will be very, very nice. So let me stop this for a minute. So, over the last week, I've been thinking a lot about my past history, my past family, and things that are going on in the world. And we have no control over other people. We have no other control over our government other than our vote. And we have no control over our children when they're grown. Those are three facts, you know. And to sit here and worry about it, I'm not going to be worrisome because I know that God is in control. He knows exactly what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And so I just go to my prayer closet and I pray about things. I used to get very upset and very political about things, and it started when Obama ran for office, and God was giving me dreams and visions of that. Um, they're on my The Lord is My Shepherd forum ministry, and I'll try to remember to link them in the description box below so that you can go read those dreams. Before that, I wasn't really that much into politics. Um, I did my vote every year since I was 18 and able to vote. Um, and I've changed parties throughout the year, and I voted independent, and I voted Democrat, and I voted Republican. And what I had really come to realize is I needed to vote according to what God's will is. And we don't know that until we go into His Word. So I vote according to that. Golden living years. These are supposed to be our golden years. And I feel like I'm working harder today than I've ever worked in my life. But I'm doing it for a reason and a purpose. I'm working harder to get healthier. For years and years, I was the caretaker of everyone in our household. I took care of everything. I was a single parent for many, many years and had to work long hours to support my children. And a lot of the times I would come home and not even have a meal. I'd let them eat, and I wouldn't eat. Um, I would buy them clothes, and I would go find me some clothes from my clothes closet. Um, didn't have furniture. And one by one piece, I got furniture into our home. This was after I left my first husband, y'all. I spent many years struggling with my first husband, and um, I knew that that wasn't what God had planned for me. And so I ended up getting out of a very abusive marriage early on. I lost everything that we owned during that period of time, including some heirlooms that I did not want to lose. My wedding dress, my children's christening gowns. One of them was hand crocheted by me. Um, Things like that just really, really tore my heart apart because I could no longer have those items. And whoever owns them today, I hope that they are very, very appreciative of them. few years back, I met my husband in church, my current husband. I was still a single mom with children that were teenagers, and y'all know how teenagers can be. It's very, very hard on two parents, let alone one. And I got a lot of blame over the years from them for not being there constant and supportive as I should have been, maybe, or maybe a little bit hard handed with them because I was the only parent. I had to be mom and dad. So my husband came into the picture and we met in church. And a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. That's what the Bible says. That was the verse that we used for our wedding announcements. And we were very, very excited to get married. Very short engagement period. We'd only known each other for a year before we got married. And our anniversary's coming up. 24 years, y'all. Unbelievable. So we've gone through some very hardships in our lifetime together. We've had family move in and out of our home. And again, I was the caretaker for everybody. And I wasn't taking care of myself. About 15 years ago, I had several episodes, health episodes, that put me in the hospital. One of them was I blew through multiple blood clots through my heart and into my lung. Any one of those blood clots could have taken me out. I underwent surgery to have an IVC filter inserted, and come to find out that I have a fast clotting disorder, and I have to take care of that. During that same period of time, they told me I had MS, which I do not have, and several other things. I had developed pneumonia. When they put the IVC filter in, they did something inside, and I walked around for quite a few years with 3/4 of my lungs working and partial lung collapse. Didn't know I had that, and I was still taking care of everybody. Then I found out I had multiple back injuries, herniated disc in my lower back, and 2 of them are blown disc. They're herniated, and then I have 2 that are bulging, and I have a synovial cyst sitting on a nerve bundle. Hence, I walk with a cane or a stick when I'm out in public, and I have a walker in the house. When I cannot walk, I use the walker. Mind you, I wasn't even a senior at this time, but something was terribly wrong with me. I couldn't lose weight. I was having all kinds of health issues, hospital visits, doctor's visits, medicines thrown at me left and right, and really no answers to what was going on. Eventually, I found out that I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is a type of arthritis that fuses the bones in your spine. And lucky me, I have it all over my body. I have bone spurs in my feet. I have bone spurs on my spine. I have osteoarthritis in my hands, my thumbs, and my hip. And I'm just a rotten mess, including diabetes and lupus. Lupus was brought on by medication for the ankylosing spondylitis, so forth and so on. So over the years, I have really tried to get away from everything that was artificial. So many of our foods are artificial in the grocery stores, and just junk food. You know, even things that we think are healthy for us are just filled with all kinds of synthetics that are not healthy for us, and our body doesn't accept them. And so our body becomes inflamed. And so I was swelling up and gaining weight. And at my highest, I was 285 pounds. I am now down 75 pounds. And I'm trying hard to get past that 200 mark and get into smaller clothing and get back into a normal range of weight. I don't mind telling you that it's been a journey. Um, in 2018, I had to have a hysterectomy. I opted for a full hysterectomy, which included my ovaries, because I had signs of what might turn into a type of cancer, and I didn't want to go through that. So I opted for that, which threw my body into a second menopause. Fun times, y'all. Then in 2022, I started my YouTube channel, and lo and behold, I caught the dreaded P.O.Box pneumonia. The good thing that came out of that was my lung opened back up. I actually had therapy coming out to my house, doing lung exercises, and one day I was at 100% oxygen, and for weeks after being in the hospital, I had been on oxygen. And if you go back to some of my very beginning videos, you'll see me wearing that oxygen mask and looking very pitiful. Um, so I'm going to tell you that if you suffer from autoimmune problems like I do, there is hope out there for you. I'm not saying there's a cure. I'm just saying that you can better your life. So some of the intentional um, living that I have done is I've learned to take care of myself, and I have to do it first. I'm constantly telling my husband, I have to take care of myself. And if you want me around, you'll help me take care of myself. It doesn't mean that I've stopped caring and stopped taking care of him or any of my family that comes to us, but it means that my needs has to be prioritized at this time. So that's what I've done. That was one of the hardest things for me to do, was to prioritize myself and let go of all the other clutter around me, the chaos and everything that was going on around me. So I've kind of become very inward in that aspect of my life, even though I'm putting myself out here on YouTube. Um, I've really quieted down a lot of aspects in my life. I no longer run my TV all day long just for background noise. I like the quiet. It gives me time to think. It clears my mind. And so I've pretty much done away with that. My husband comes home in the evening and the TV comes on. And he's on his cell phone, and I'm usually on my cell phone trying to catch up on all the YouTube stuff. And um, conversation has gotten hard. So learning to do conversation again without any devices or any other distractions is very important to me. So we're going to get into the cards. But my golden years are going to be golden because I'm making them be golden. Uh, Doing gardens, um, watching everything that we eat. Um, and you'll see a lot of my videos talk about my diet now because I am a diabetic that can't take the prescription medications, and I have to do this on my own. And so diet is very important to me, exercise, and so many other aspects of diabetes. And I hope to get into more of that as I find answers to my problems, and maybe they'll help you. So intentional living is something I started this year. I think my channel is pretty much about this. This and the Frugal Living Challenge 25. Frugal Living Challenge 25 is a collaboration that's year-long. It's open to anyone that wants to participate. And I hope to see some other channels participating in that because it's such a good topic. And you're going to see a lot of that on my channel as well. How we live frugally and within our means without having to spend money with credit. We don't have credit cards. We do have one item that we bought on credit, and that was my husband's lawnmower because we have to have a lawnmower. So we may venture out into that area once that's paid off again. and maybe do an outdoor kitchen or something like that that has been one of my dreams. So, golden years is fulfilling dreams. Okay, first card, intentional living. Reduce your waste. How do we reduce waste? Um, First of all, we stop buying things that we don't need or won't use. We don't buy just on a whim. Uh, we buy according to what our actual needs are at the moment. If I need 5 chickens in my freezer, we've got chickens that we raise, and we can raise meat birds. That will reduce waste, and we use the chicken meat for consumption. We use the bones for bone broth, um, and then the giblets and stuff like that will get fed back to the chickens. It's actually very healthy for them to have raw meat occasionally. So they'll get the livers, the hearts, and things like that. Um, we are working very, very hard on becoming self sufficient, and that's one way to do it. And reducing waste would also be food waste. So I can. Um, Canning provides you with portion control, uh, and you know exactly what you're eating. So I don't waste anything. Any food scraps that the chickens can eat or the dogs can eat will go to them, or it goes into our compost pile. So nothing goes to waste. Another way to reduce waste is less trips to the store, because less trips to the stores means less plastics coming into our home. Um, and, you got to buy packaged foods in packages. So that's cardboard, plastic, metal cans, and plastic bottles, things like that, that we don't need in our life. It causes a lot of environmental issues. They're finding microplastics everywhere, including your bloodstream, in your brain, in the ocean, in landfills, in our animals. It's everywhere. So we want to reduce that and get that out of our systems. One of the problems that I encounter with my family is they want to yell. They don't talk to each other, they don't communicate, they yell. So intentional living is communicate, a no yell zone. So if you call me and you start yelling at me, or you come to my house and you start yelling at me, it's immediately shut down, because I will not tolerate that. Um, I want peace in my life. I want uh, to know that my family loves me. And when you come at me yelling and screaming, that tells me that it's not an issue with me, it's an issue with you. And I can't control you, I can only control me. So make your home a no yell zone and learn to communicate. Communicating would be to a child. You say something to the child, you have the child repeat it back to you to make sure that they understand what you're saying. If they don't get it right, you repeat it again, and you continue that on until they get it. Um, Questions, you repeat the question and then you give them the answer, etc., etc. Adult communications is actively listening and participating in the conversation. Intentional living is gratitude. Being thankful for things around you, showing gratitude for others, maybe doing a special something for someone without you getting recognition, because you want that gratitude to go to the Lord, because He's the one that provided everything that you have. My gratitude is I have an audience out here that watches me faithfully, and I appreciate that so, so very much. Um, and I love the Lord. I'm very grateful for everything He's done for me. I'm going to show a clip of something I'm doing now. intentional living is exercise your mind and body for health. Um, I am actively exercising. They say that a diabetic needs to walk at least 40 minutes a day and exercise. So I am intentionally walking and exercising every day. Intentional living is determination to get things done. There are days when I don't feel like doing anything, let alone doing a video, and I struggle with fatigue because of all the autoimmune things that are going on in my body. So I take vitamin B complex. I try to get out and get 30 minutes of sun, even though they say don't go out in the sun because you have lupus. Well, you need that sun. Your body needs the sun, and it does something to your body to energize you. And so I need everything that I can get my hands on that's going to help me, every tool to get things done. Part of it is mental clarity of thinking it through before you do something. Uh, Another would be remembering to do it. You know, some of us have memory issues as we age. I know I do. In Proverbs 12:12, it talks about being diligent. So this would be a be diligent thing in intentional living. You want to be diligent in whatever you're doing that day, whether it's folding laundry, washing clothes, washing dishes by hand, washing dishes in a dishwasher, sweeping and mopping the floor. You want to have a determination to get those jobs done. If it's scrubbing the toilet, you know, nobody wants to clean the bathroom, but it has to be done. Um, Things like that. Hanging your laundry up after it's dry, putting it away instead of letting it sit in baskets for days. And I'm guilty of that. I know many of y'all are probably guilty of it as well. So I am developing a determination to get things done, and I'm going to be diligent about it. Well, I appreciate everybody coming along for this, and I know it's a little long, but I wanted to share those things with you, and I think that it is a wonderful time to be living in my golden years. Thank you, my friends, for watching, and may you be fully blessed.